And this one, that one is when you have the bed when you have the nozzle too far away from the bed. So as I mentioned in the previous one, so this one here. So that's what you can look. That's how your print will look like. So in this picture, so that's how your print will look like. If it's too far away, then all these lines will become really visible. So it's kind of like drawing on the paper. That's something you need to change. If you say that, lower your nozzle, everything should be fine. And this one is called a elephant foot, as I remembered. So what that happens is when you press the when you make the nozzle too close to the bed, you will have this because it's squeezing the filament to the printer bed. So that's how it will look like. And that's for this filament. So as you can see, this filament has been bitten by the extruder. So that's where it has a clogging sound, and that's most likely because it doesn't it's not even, so it's thicker here and thinner here. So for the side shifting, your print will look like that. So you might need to change your belt on the side to solve these problems. And that's just another picture of the side shifting. So for the display screen, the display screen is really kind of like if you have a touch screen, then you might only need to change it after like 5 years or even more. But for this one, because you have these buttons, so after 1 or 2 years, it might get a little bit loose. So that's a time you might need to consider to change it. Next one is the stepper motor. So usually the machine will have 4 stepper motors on the side and on the thread rod. So here, as you can see, they usually there will be one extruder motor. So that's how they keep feeding the filament into the nozzle, and this one will control the x-axis. This one will do the y-axis, so it will move the bed forward and backwards. So this one is for the z-axis. So this one, usually they are different, but for some of them are the same stepper motors. So 42 stepper motors. The extruder motor, the z-axis motor, sometimes is more accurate than others because it will control like each layer. So this is really important. If you have something wrong with that motor, you can always ask us to have a new one, a new replacement for you. It connects the that axis stepper motor is connected by I think it's called a coupler. So it connects the stepper motor and the thread rod together. So make sure when you open the machine, always check if the screws are loose. So there are 2 screws on here. So if that gets loose, then you will have a lot of trouble. So please have a look on those 2 screws. Make sure they are pretty tight, so you won't have any troubles in the future. And those 2 are the limited switch. They will tell them the stepper motor when to stop. So I have this image which kind of shows how they works. So the stepper motor is like the leg for a human body, and the limited switch is the eyes. So the motherboard is the brain. So the limited switch will tell the extruder when to stop, when they kind of like hit the side of the limited switch, and then the stepper motor will stop working. For the printer bed, so we have two different types of printing bed. One is the glass bed, and one is a magnetic and flexible printing bed. Both of them are pretty popular. The glass bed is a good selections for Ender 3 series, or for any cubic, then it's the Mega series, because the aluminum part, as you can see here, the aluminum part like below the printer bed is really easy to bend after a while, because it's a metal part, and after it's been heat up and cools down, it's really easy to have a slight bend, either in the middle or in the corner. So a glass bed is a really wise choice, because glass is always been flat. That's when it's been manufactured. It's been made like due to gravity, so it's always been flat. But the magnetic part, the magnetic plate is easier when you printing something really big. It's easier to get the print off the bed. So when you change the magnetic part to the glass bed one, it's really important to either adjust the four wheels under the bed, or you might need to change where the limited switch on the side, because the glass bed is much thicker than the magnetic one. So when you change the magnetic one to this one, you need to either raise the limit switch up, or you might need to tighten the big wheels under the bed. So there are four wheels in each corner, unless you have a BL touch or a sensor, which is the automatic leveling. Unless you have that system, I would suggest you need to adjust them every time before you start printing. So the extruder head will always start with this point. So x equals 0, y equals 0, and z equals 0. So that's the original point of this one. So for different type of machine, the basic structure are the same. So for instance, the CR10 the CR6 SE, it have dual stepper motors on the side, which makes it more stable. And for this one, you can have a box which covers it. So this one you can use for ABS printing, which is more safer, because when you print ABS, there's a lot of toxic gas which you can't really breathe in. So it's better and also to keep the temperature warm as well. So that's why you need a box for that. And that's a Ender 3, like an upgrade of Ender 3 version. And we will talk the Photon theory in maybe next class or in the future, because it's not a FDM printing machine. So the CR10 series can also be a wise choice, because it's quite stable. As you can see, it's large. It's the largest size we have at the moment, and it has like the triangle shape, which makes it really stable. Ender 5 have like a more stable structure, but the thing is too small. The printing bed is roughly about the same size as the Ender 3. The Ender 10, the Creality 10 S Pro series, they have the auto leveling, and also a really smart systems, which everything is automatic. But I won't suggest that for a beginner. It's super stable, good quality, but it's not gonna help if you buy that. You can't really learn anything from the machine. It's already done everything for you. And also this one, you can see some dual extrusion on this one. So if you have two filaments, you can have one for the main filament and another one for the support. So there are some water dissolvable supporting filament in the market, which you after you print some really tricky parts like the Batman on the right hand side, on the left hand side, then you can just put it in the water. All the support should be like disappeared after a while, so you don't really need to use a cutter to cut off all the supporting materials. So at the end, just a little bit of reminder. So those who believe that 3D printing is all about kind of standing a standard process haven't actually understand the technology in the first place. The 3D printer cannot be learned without actually getting hands completely immersed um, in its working. The technology brings itself different limitations and problems with unique reasons. It is not possible to realize the best printing results all the time. Hence, the user must recognize the problems, investigate different reasons, and finally come up with the right solutions. And we are always here to help. So thank you all for coming today, and hope you can find something really helps you today. So thank you. I'll just stop the recording.